Well, we appreciate you driving, Heather.
Yeah.
All right, so you just moved to the Houston area, right?
Yes. September.
Okay. How you liking it?
I love it.
You're not originally from Texas, right? Where are you
No,
from?
All over, but I grew up mostly in Florida. So I think everyone's like, why do you love Houston so much? I'm very sentimental, and it's so much like Tampa, where I grew up.
Do you think so, really?
I do.
Oh, I guess
think
I've never been to Tampa,
Houston's
so.
nicer.
I think
Tampa's-
Florida, yeah.
You think Houston's nicer? Get out of here.
I mean, maybe I'm just biased because I'm a little hard on my people. We're
Yeah.
a little trashy.
Really?
Oh.
I guess it's more of a college town, right? So it's a little
Tampa?
trashy. Yeah. Or college state, isn't it? I mean, it's got. I just imagine like wild spring break stuff going on all the time.
If you aren't like
Girls
from
going
Florida,
wild.
you don't like everyone's on the outskirts, the tourist areas. If you go inland at all, it's like Hickville and
Really?
I mean, I don't want to anger anyone who's from Florida, but it's like if you're from Florida, come on, like we know.
We know we know
Let's
what
be
you're
real.
about.
I love Florida, but we're a little trashy.
Yeah. Do you prefer Houston over Austin?
Absolutely.
God dang, you're weird.
Why? What do you like here?
That's everyone's like, why? I don't know. I don't like it's the sentimentality, but the best way I can describe it, which I think frustrates people because I don't have a good answer, is like there's love at first sight, right, with people, and I think I fall in love with cities that way. That's how I felt when I drove into Phoenix. Phoenix was never on my radar. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't care about it. I lived there for 10 years before Texas. I immediately I wanted to be there. I wanted to live there, and I loved it. And I felt like that coming here. We just came back in May. It wasn't even that long ago. It was in May. We were coming just for a weekend trip, and me and my kids. And immediately I was like, I just love it. I love this place. And my son too, my little boy, the same. He's like, Mom, I love this city. I'm like, why? What do you love about it? He's like, I don't know. It's just cool. And we're close to a beach. And he and I love the beach. So I can't put a good description on it. I love it.
It's definitely a different vibe than Austin. I think Austin, it's almost too compact.
It's not their fault.
Not a whole lot of room there.
They
There's
don't
more
want
room
it to
here.
be. It's been expanding, and it can't grow fast enough to accommodate all the people coming.
Right.
And I like, don't get me wrong. So my training business started in Austin here in Texas is my first home for my business. And the people there are amazing. Like the success that I have in Buff Bakes and the ability, which is my cake business, my ability to be able to move to Houston at the time that I did was because of my clients in Austin.
Oh.
They're very open and welcoming. I think something that I really like about Houston, which to me makes it unique, is it's not as easy to break in with Houston people. I feel like you have to work harder to earn the trust, and I like that. I like that people in Houston aren't so free to give away their friendship and their thoughts. They're a little more guarded. That's my take so far.
That's an interesting take.
And I like that.
So did you start Buff Cakes before you started your fitness coaching or after?
No. So a million years ago, I went to culinary school in high school, actually, and I was in that field for years, working in restaurants. And then I had my own bakery business in Austin, just regular bakery, like cakes and custom painted cookies, things like that. And then I became a personal trainer. Before we moved to Texas, August of 2021. Yeah.
Oh, so pretty recently.
Yeah. Very recently. So I was just playing around with protein baked goods for myself because I was bored with like just protein shakes, and I really pushed the importance of protein in our diet. We don't eat enough of it, especially in our country. So I just wanted something fun and different, and then people were begging me for recipes, and then once they had the recipes, they didn't want to do it themselves, and
yeah, we're lazy
me to make it. I mean, I get it. I really underestimate. I'm like, no, this won't be a business. People will just take my recipes and make it. Nobody wants to make it, so that works for me.
So you started selling them in your bakery shop, and then James told me. And by the way, we met you through James Hicks, our buddy. He's a good guy. He's a hell of a guy. I wish he'd run just a little bit more though, because he's kind of slacking, and I'm going to tell him that one of these days.
If he's slacking, it's my fault because he's doing my resistance training workouts.
Really?
So he's hammering down on fitness the last year.
Yeah.
And he just did some recent updated pictures that I need to share, but like in the last year, the muscle he's put on is phenomenal.
He has such an amazing transformation.
I know.
He was a hefty guy. Now, how much does he weigh now?
I don't know.
170?
I guess I haven't even
Lost
asked
100
him.
plus, right?
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, we haven't even talked about weight. He's just been focused on putting on muscle. And he was having like some aches and pains and like knee stuff, and he was maybe going to need surgery. He was seeing an orthopedic surgeon when he came to me, and it was like, let's see what we can do to fix that first. And now it's not an issue.
That's awesome. Yeah, so big shout out to James for hooking us up.
Absolutely.
So you started selling buff cakes in your shop.
Here in Austin, not in my shop, no. And I was always at home. It was
in Austin or Houston?
In Austin.
Okay, Austin.
Yep.
And well, as I understand it, they're across like many gyms. Like you have these on shelves in gyms and whatnot.
No, one.
One? Okay.
I've tried. And to be fair, I think there were gyms that legitimately wanted to work with me, but there's a lot of liability involved in bringing someone else's food business into your business. And at the end of last year, too, a lot of gyms were still are recovering from COVID and things like that. And so I think financially it wasn't in the cards for many gyms. And many of them have hosted me to do pop-ups, and I'm so grateful. It's gotten me out there. It's gotten me customers. But no, I am just now in my first gym, which is Iron City in Cypress.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
I think that's where one of the BCN people work out at.
Yeah.
Have you heard of BCN supplements?
It's been a while.
Okay.
I have heard of them.
Oh, you have? So BCN, it's owned by Brianda. I forget her last name off the top of my head. Damn it. I sound like a fucking idiot.
Contreras.
What is it?
Help me out.
What is it?
Starts with a C.
I'm going to butcher it.
I know it, but I can't say it.
Fucking idiot right now.
Do you know she was at their grand opening?
I don't know. But I know she's in like various shops around the Houston area. Cool. She's from Houston. She's her and her fiance are heavy in the fitness industry. Okay. And so they have a supplement company, and they have like ambassador as part of it. So she sells collagen and pre-workout and vitamins and stuff like that. Cool. So yeah, you should link up.
Nice. Yeah.
I do a little collab or something.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We noticed you had like vegan ingredients. Is this like a vegan type thing?
It's not. I choose vegan protein powders primarily for the texture it produces in baked goods. Whey protein tends to dry it out a little bit more.
Oh, it does.
And vegan just produces a more dense and fluffy, moist kind of texture. Sorry for that M word. I know people freak out.
Moist.
Sorry for it. You say it one more time. I'll turn you up here.
Is that a thing now we got to apologize for?
Well, I understand.
What
Just
happened?
do an ASMR of the word moist.
Was it from that commercial, that women's commercial? Is that where this all stemmed from?
I don't know.
Oh,
remember they're like, moist.
Oh, no.
You don't like it. You're the one who don't
It
like
doesn't bother me, but
I don't know.
Creepy.
Have you seen the videos of the girls licking the microphones
on
Instagram?
No.
Maybe my feed is trash.
I think
Maybe my feed is questionable.
That probably speaks to what you're searching.
It's the algorithm. I have no control over it.
I have no control.
Except you were the only one.
It's debatable. It's debatable, Heather.
Show her your first couple of scrolls.
I can't show you that. No, we
if I leave this house.
All right. So vegan powder.
Moist.
Yes. Speaking of, yes. Also, too, most of my clientele are adults, and as we age, we tend to have a harder time digesting dairy. And so it's just easier on the digestive system to have vegan protein powders.
Oh.
So those are the primary reasons I use that. But it's important to me to choose quality vegan protein powders because vegan proteins can be incomplete if they are not paired correctly. And so these brands that I use, Ghost primarily uses a blend to make sure it's a complete protein.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then I use skim milk and fat-free Greek yogurt. So we have animal proteins in there as well.
Do you have an online shop where you sell these?
No, I need to. I know it's all Instagram right now.
That
was another
badass,
thing.
though.
It was like, I'm not going to wait around because I need a perfect name or I need this or that. Like, let's just go.
Yeah.
Take off with it and see what happens. So there's benefits to that. You know, like I used to let things hold me back from starting ideas or businesses, like little things like that. But now I'm like so far in the weeds and I have all these things I should have done months ago, like taxes properly and
taxes,
things like that, and a website everyone wants to order, and I have no website from any of my businesses right now. So it's like, okay, now I went a little too far out.
Okay, so you could sell directly from Instagram, and you get the shipping information, or what?
No, I don't ship right now.
Okay.
Texas has laws against shipping food across state lines.
Fucking Texas, man.
Texas has a lot.
It's not just Texas, it's the cottage laws. So there's a lot of states.
The what now?
It's called cottage laws. So if you have a home business, you have to abide by certain laws, which I respect as a food.
Gotta look into
producer.
that.
Do these have to be refrigerated?
They don't have to be, but I suggest it if you want them to stay good.
If you don't want to get sick, I suggest.
Well, no, I mean, quality wise, it's going to last a little bit longer.
That's cool. You took a plunge and made something, because that's like making food. I imagine that's a daunting task for you to think like, man, like I imagine me, if I was doing that, I'd be doubting myself a lot.
Well, I think the culinary background helped, and having the cake business before. Unless I was just telling someone recently that I can't imagine starting a new food business right now with the cost of inflation. If I didn't know the shortcuts that I do and the ways to save and how to be efficient, I would have failed months ago. Yeah. There's no way. It's hard now.
Yeah.
Inflation is a nightmare. And thank goodness I don't use eggs in there because
Oh God, have to raise your own chickens.
Gosh.
So what are some of the things that you do to help promote the product?
Just Instagram.
Is it all Instagram and word of mouth?
It is mostly. Okay. This is kind of like a side hustle just to keep me alive and afloat, and it's fun. Like I said, I'm a trainer first, and that's my passion. That's what I care most about, and I like to help my clients find creative ways to get their protein in. Like I said, we don't eat enough of it day to day, so this is just a fun way to get it. What was your question? I went on a tangent.
That's okay. I like tangents.
I don't remember where I was going with that.
It's okay.
How am I promoting it?
Like
that. Like all I really have to do on Instagram at the moment, I'm lucky, is just share like a video of me eating a cake or like a melty chocolate one, and people are like, yeah, where do I get this?
Damn it. It also helps that you're a girl though, right? Like if I was making these cakes and I was biting it, they'd be like, I don't want that shit.
It's funny you say that, because on my personal training page, much more of my body is exposed. I'm doing workouts on there. I'm just much more exposed, and I guess, I don't know. I don't like to say this, but for lack of a better term, suggestive in guys' minds on my training page. Right? I have never, ever had so much trouble as I've had on my cake page with solicitation. Really? And you'll see like my head, and I'm just biting a cake or something.
A nice head,
the
though.
Nonsense.
That's a nice head.
Nonsense that I get in there, like I'm mystified. But
give me an example of what you eat in there. You get to choose what you give to me, but
put my sausage in that mouth too.
What do they say?
I'm not going to say all the things.
No, just one, like, I can't imagine what they would say about you eating a cake.
Just that. I won't expand on that. I don't want to feed into that because it's so inappropriate. Like, I'm professional. I'm trying to run a business.
You have to delete. You could filter out those comments in the Instagram. You can automatically block those kind of things.
I can, but here's what I did. And if you go onto my Buff Bakes Instagram, you'll see in the highlights before ordering. And I shared some of the explicit comments and said that if you keep doing this, I will find your girlfriend and I will send it to her, and I'll post your name in my stories. So I don't have as much trouble with that anymore.
Dude, that's awesome.
To be honest. So
dang,
that's pretty good.
That stopped a lot of it.
That's really good.
So, I mean, dude, I'm running a business. I don't need.
That'd be another business in itself. Finding all the girlfriends. You have to hire someone for that.
But to be honest, these idiots don't make it that hard. I mean, you go into their profile and they're like hanging on each other and tagging each other. So it's like, really?
I love my babe.
It's crazy how people in relationships message girls like that, or like put things in the comments.
More than single guys.
I mean, I meant couple, like people in a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just go and be like, comment like, oh yeah, I eat that cake or whatever, and then just go about their day.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It's more, it seems to be like if I go look at their profile, the vast majority are married. Or they'll make comments, suggestive comments, and I'll go look in their profile and they're like, brand new baby on the way. And it's
what the hell?
I love like, oh, dude.
My girlfriend would find that shit. Like
before you comment.
Yeah, before. Like, what are you typing right now? Like, I don't get it. How they just nonchalant, like, yeah, nice tits, and then go about and take care of the baby.
At least block your profile, make it not public, and do it.
Something's going on,
right?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not the ones doing it though.
Okay. That's what they're gonna tell their girlfriend. It wasn't me.
Exactly. Hacked.
So you did. So you bake. How did you get into personal training? Where did you get that training from?
That was I had my own little like fitness journey. I the word journey because it's so overused for
Tell us about your journey.
Oh, please. The
trail, fitness trail.
I mean, for lack of a better term, I guess that was, I got out of shape and busy and kids and all the things, that happen when life happens. Exactly.
With a bakery too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just that being the business, working in the culinary industry, I personally didn't partake. I didn't want to cut into my profits, by eating it up, but it took time. I never slept and I had to work every night and weekend and take care of my kids during the day. So anyways, I was 29 years old and I could barely get out of bed. I was so out of shape and over 220 pounds and just in rough shape. Didn't take care of my body at all. And I was like, this is nonsense. I'm not going to be 29 and struggling to catch my breath, picking my kids up. This is nuts. So I took care of myself and changed my diet and lost a bunch of weight. And then I lost a bunch of weight really fast and lost a bunch of muscle with that, which happens sometimes. It was important to get the weight off. That was not healthy. But it was I want to rebuild. I want to have muscle and have a shape. And so I hired a trainer at that point and kind of fell in love with lifting weights. I mean, I had lifted weights here and there over my lifetime, but I didn't learn about it. I didn't do it consistently ever until I hired my trainer and just fell in love with it and realized that this is what I want to do. I want to help other people do this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really touching.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
It's an amazing journey.
I love it. I'm where I need to be. And I've never worked so hard and been so exhausted, but been so happy at the same time.
That's another industry too that I would in my head, I'm like, man, there's so many fitness coaches. It's going to be tough to break that market and stand out. So is that what you thought, or you just kind of jumped in and did it?
No, I jumped in. Yes and no, but it's sadly, everybody's unhealthy. There's a lot of people that need help. And there's room for everyone, there are a lot of coaches, but we all seem to have our own personality and style. And some people need someone that's really rigid. And some people need someone who's a little more lax and empathetic. And people need someone who I think is more like me. I kind of walk down the middle. I'll be rigid when you need it. I'll be empathetic and listen here when you need it too. So, but I think there's room for all of it.
Oh, that's cool. So you can kind of adjust your style based on the individual you have.
Absolutely. You should, if you can. Yeah.
So what kind of, what separates you from other people? What do you do and how'd you start? How did you say, even posting your own pictures, I imagine was really helpful, right?
Yes and no. It was nerve wracking. I just I started my Instagram page after I was already down 35 pounds. Just because I just wanted to show people that if I'm a busy stay-at-home mom, working at home mom, and I managed it after all these years, and I had a medical condition too, you can do it too. I know we're not the same, but here's some things that help me. Maybe it'll help you. And then it just started rolling from there. And that was another thing that made me realize, okay, I want to do this and I want to learn to do it right so I can teach people the right way to do things. At least apply something from my experience to theirs. But yeah, that's kind of how it started. And
do you like to focus on all different type of people, or
Absolutely.
Would you say you have?
I mean, yeah, I have a niche. There's no doubt that I think mothers and women tend to feel comfortable with other women like them. So that's kind of my bread and butter. But I have started taking on more male clients, which is fun. Typically it's not as hard to get men to eat and lift, which is my style of training. I like to do that. So I gravitate towards that, but it's very, very rewarding to get my girls to understand that our bodies are better for lifting weights and eating more and not chronically starving ourselves. So I like it all, but for sure, I think the stay-at-home mom and females are more drawn to me.
That's good.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You want me to go ahead?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. I think, helping women lift is something that is talked about, but I think there's a misconception that girls believe that lifting gets them bulky and they want to be lean.
Right.
And so do you have those discussions? Do you have monthly meetings with your clients?
It depends on the client. So I train in person, I train online. And so it's really just what the client needs. Most people, when they're starting, they're going to need more attention. And so with my online clients, we'll do phone calls or Zoom or whatever they feel comfortable doing. and it'll be a little more frequent in the beginning, but then it's kind of check-ins. I mean, we're talking to each other. Most of them follow me on Instagram. We'll message or text when they need, but it's kind of an as-is basis. And then when I'm working for a gym or my in-person clients, I see them every week. So the bulk of our discussions are in person, but absolutely that's a big topic. A lot of them are very afraid of getting bulky, and it's like I have to explain this isn't going to happen by accident. It takes years and years and years of consistent training and overeating to put on muscle. Like I wish it were so easy to just be like, whoopsies, I'm ripped. Like, darn it.
There definitely is a line though where it's like too much.
Okay, so and on that note, so it's like if that happens, let's just say it does happen where you put on a little more muscle than you want to, you just don't lift as hard and as frequently for those muscle groups and it'll go away. So we can fix it.
Yeah. What are those muscle groups that like, I think it's like lats.
It just depends on the person.
Like when their back's really big, it's like,
a guy.
All right, chill out.
Well, okay. And lats are important for women to help that hourglass shape and to keep us even. I mean, that's your back. It's going to hold your spine in place. So we need balance. Right. But yes, my girls and myself included, we don't want to be like humongous up top. We would rather have nicer legs. So we have most of my female clients, we have a heavier focus on lower body. And I am kind of to the point, I'm probably driving my own trainer nuts by like, back it down on the upper body, please. Like, I don't want to be huge, like chill. Yeah. Because I like training upper body and I want to do it the rest of my life, but I'm already kind of like, all right, I like the way it is now. I don't want to be bigger. If I'm doing this for like another 10 or 20 years, like let's chill.
Take a chill pill a little bit.
A little bit. Where then obviously my guys want more of an upper body focus, and I have to like really put like we need glutes too, guys. Yeah. Like come on,
those skinny legs.
Yeah, let's just do like one day, maybe 2 days.
Does it irk you to see and I use fitness influencer very lightly, but like the young, like 20-year-old girls, like they call themselves fitness influencers, and they're like, you could fucking eat at Taco Bell every day of the week and then still have those abs right now. I want to see a girl like in her 30s and 40s be like, with kids and shit, be a fitness influencer.
And it's out there. It's out there. We're out there. It's just, again, what are people searching? And that is something too that I think is unfortunate in our industry is the person who's more jacked, whether they know anything or not, or have any experience, people are going to gravitate towards them. And it makes sense. You know, like you look like you know what you're doing. I'm going to ask you. People just don't understand sometimes that's, for one, being super jacked, unless you are a 20-year-old ectomorph, it's not easy and it's not the peak of health. You know, like, and that's why athletes have off seasons and you see them usually put on a little weight because during season, that's not really when they're at their healthiest. They're beating their body to shreds and not eating enough and probably underperforming to some degree. So they get stronger and better when they have a little more body fat on them in their off season and improve. So it's the same with trainers. I wish people understood that better, but I think that is the one. Social media hurts in some ways, but it is getting the message out there that let's walk down the middle of the road. You might not be super jacked and we don't want to be super overweight, but let's go right down the middle.
Yeah. I would gravitate more to someone that has before and after pictures of like getting through hard times or cutting weight and like cutting weight healthily.
Yeah. And I try to put that out, my own stories, because my smallest weight was not my healthiest. I felt accomplished, so I'm not disappointed in that, but I had to maintain unhealthy habits to keep that lower body fat. And I'm not super happy with my body fat at the moment either, but I'm also in a building phase. I know that the excess body fat will come off in the future, but that's what I said. Let's walk the middle of the road a little bit. So I try to put out my own story of that.
I feel bad about people that do find their fitness journey later in life and they get really into it, but then they have that excess skin that just won't go away. So what do you think? Would you go about getting surgery for that so that you can be your best, or do you just live with it?
It's person dependent, and I would say before you even consider surgery, spend a year or two putting on muscle if you haven't before that. Because a lot of time the loose skin comes from rapid weight loss, and yes, age plays a role. Putting on muscle can do a lot to help that. but it won't take away everything. And so I had a tummy tuck for that reason. I just decided for myself that I couldn't live with the loose skin there. And I have loose skin in other areas, and the tummy tuck is not, it doesn't make you perfect.
No, but you work too hard not to like get the results that you want now, because you're putting in the time.
It was that.
Yeah, that's how I'd be. I would, if it couldn't go away, I would probably do surgery, because it's like I'm never going to obtain what I want, because it's impossible to get rid of.
So that's my suggestion too, when people ask me that question, or they know about my tummy tuck, like how did I come to that decision, especially since I am so supportive of body positivity to some degree, whatever you're at, if you love yourself that way, great. Like, don't let anyone tell you you shouldn't. And so it felt like a betrayal to that message by wanting to change myself, which it's not, but that's kind of something that I struggled with. But exactly what my surgeon said, that what I could spend another 10 years doing workouts and it wouldn't bring my skin in anymore. That was it. I had done everything I could, but I had spent 2 years maintaining my weight and putting on muscle to make sure I had done everything that I could. And then we did the last step. And there's some people that have a lot of loose skin and they're fine with it. And that's awesome. Like, you don't need to not be. But I just felt that I wasn't.
It's got to be tough for moms too that have kids.
Yeah, it
2
is.
or 3 kids, and they got loose skin around their tummy, and they feel ashamed, and they want to hide it.
I knew that it bothered me, but I didn't even realize how much it bothered me and was weighing on me until I didn't have it. Until I didn't have to think about it and didn't have to worry about, like, even in like fitness classes or just doing my workouts, not having to worry about it like coming up out of my pants, and just like if I wanted to do jumping jacks, I wouldn't do those in front of other people. And I just didn't realize the toll that was taking on me emotionally until I didn't have to think about it.
I think women are more critical of women than men are. Men don't give a shit about that.
Agreed.
I don't think so.
I absolutely agree with you that I feel like we are very hard on each other.
Yeah. Which is weird. It's kind of ironic, huh?
It is.
Well, it's his world, man. Yeah. It is social media. It's like, it's just, we're showing perfect bodies all the time. And even if you have a good body, it's not good enough.
Got to put a filter on.
And it's the young ones. It's the young ones that haven't gained weight yet that are posting now.
Yeah.
And it's not realistic, because, I mean, you can't go back to when you're 16 years old or whatever. And
well, even in our age group, I'm starting to, I know it sounds silly, but I only recently learned what a BBL is. And I didn't realize that there are literally women having that done and then saying that you just need to work harder. That's not fair. I would never. I've been open that I had surgery. I would never be like, I earned this stomach through hard work. Well, I earned the muscle underneath it, but I had to have surgery to achieve what I have now. So I will, at times, I haven't done it in a while, I need to, but I will share, this is my before and after pre-surgery. And this is my before and after with surgery in there, just so you're aware. Like, if you only reach this pre-surgery, good for you. This is the best I could get with it. But it's funny you say that too, though, about the women, because I think men are the same way. The stuff that you guys worry about never even pops into our head. But you guys, like height and like biceps and having a six pack, like we really don't care.
What about small penises?
You know what? Women don't care about that half as much as you think.
Oh, tell my girlfriend.
Not even nearly as much as you guys. Like amongst our conversations with my girlfriends, we're just like, why do they care so much? Because I mean, I've been with larger partners that had no idea what they were doing. It was like, well, this is not fun at all. So thanks. Like, I don't care about your size. You don't know what you're doing with it. So there's no point.
If we've always been a little bit like second guessing our bodies.
Yeah.
Before social media, like where did that come from? Movies? Was it magazines and movies?
I'm sure.
TV shows? Because now
Muscle Mag.
Yeah, the blame is social media, but we've always kind of been in this like self-doubt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think so. Long before social media. Social media exacerbates it sometimes.
I mean, you get it from the environment. I mean, like when TV wasn't around, it's just other girls around comparing each other. But now there's so much.
Yeah.
For sure.
You're just going around looking for someone that looks like you, hoping there's one. That's funny.
Yeah, but I don't hate, like, you know, even the young girls, and you would ask, like, if it bothers me, these young little girls on social media posting that stuff. It doesn't bother me. I just think to myself, like, because when I was 20, if I had social media, I'd probably be doing the same thing right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because you just don't have the experience of life to know yet. They haven't had babies. They don't know what it's like to have your perfect body ripped away from you and to have to live with that. And you just can't foresee when you have kids in a family, the way you come last. So, like, I don't, it doesn't bother me. It's just, I want to be a mixed in voice out there to be like, hey, if you're not this 20-year-old, and you know what? If you are the 20-year-old and you look like that in your 50s, like, good for you. You shouldn't feel bad because you were born with good genetics. Be proud of it. Like, flaunt your gifts. There's nothing wrong with that. So no, I try not to be irritated by it. And the only thing that really irritates me
is everything I just said.
No, just arrogance of people just refusing to learn and be better and to never consider others' feelings. So, like, these young, ignorant people, men and women, if they're presented with a different viewpoint and they reject it, that irritates me. That gets on my nerves. When you don't want to better yourself or at least hear others out. No. Even if you don't agree, listen and respect that you have differences or whatever. That's the only thing that really gets my goat.
Have you reached the point where you're making money off social media now?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not. Not a dime.
Is that something that you want to hopefully, like, you want to get to?
I don't care.
No? If it happens, it happens?
If it happens, it happens. From the people I know that do, they don't make that much, and it's a ton of work. It's like, sure, it's nice that it's happening on the side, but if they sunk all their time into that, they destroy their business. I want to be on social media just to help whoever I can. That hasn't changed. And like the cake business, like, that was put there to help my clients achieve their protein goals without feeling deprived. You know, of course I need to pay my bills, but I care most about helping people. And there's a lot more I could do to make more money than I am right now, but it would take away from my ability to help others. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about putting more sugar in there to increase clientele?
Absolutely not. I don't have a problem.
You just keep them coming.
I have no problem with sugar, but my clientele does, and they panic about it. And ultimately, we've got to watch our intake a little bit. But yeah, that's the thing.
Are you on YouTube as well?
No, but I need to.
I think that's where you can make money on YouTube.
That's where the money's at.
But again, that's enough. They take 30%.
Yeah,
it's not super easy.
There's a lot of money though people make on YouTube.
You can after you've put years and years into it, and I'm not against it. I'm gonna put myself on there, and so like eventually, if money starts trickling in down the road, great. But it's not like my focus.
I think it's a lot easier to make money as a woman on social media.
You know, I hear that a lot. I don't agree.
Really?
Oh no.
Why not?
There's a lot of obstacles we face that guys don't think about it. And just like you guys have obstacles that we don't consider because we aren't in that position, but especially in the personal training world, this is a man's world. It is not easy to make money. If I want to be skanky and put up thirst traps, yeah, it's easy.
That would be me.
It's easy to make easy money.
That would be me 110%. If I was a girl, I would be in fitness and just showing everything, making a lot of money.
I'm not hating on it either. Like, do you? Like, but that's not me. If you want to make money with integrity, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Male or female.
You think there's more guys that want to get with a personal trainer than girls?
I don't know.
I feel like it'd be more girls, and I think a girl would want to go to a girl.
No, so there aren't. That's actually, I will say, my advantage in personal training is pretty much any club or gym that I go into, they are in need of female trainers because there aren't a lot of female trainers apparently, or at least not the areas that I've lived in. They have an abundance of male trainers, but the problem with that, I have many thoughts on it. I think men in general are trusted more, and it's something like 80% of all personal training clients anywhere are female for several reasons. Like, men don't maybe want to ask other opinions, are more stubborn. Women are more open to other opinions. So that's a lot of what I see is a lot of, I'm sorry, but it's just a lot of housewives who are wanting to have a sexy male trainer. And so it helps me to have female clients because they trust me. But in general, I feel like sometimes male or female, they tend to trust a male opinion more, or they want a male because they're lonely or bored. I don't know.
You're in a good state too. I just thought about because Texas is like one of the most obese states in the country. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, clean it up.
Yeah, we're one of the fattest. We're one of the fattest and unfitted. We got all this barbecue and fake ass Mexican food.
Really good food here. That's true.
And now Austin has really good food. And as far as Mexican, anyway. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
You don't have to take it, but that's just what I think.
No, I'm not. And I like, don't get me wrong. I like Austin. I do. I just prefer Houston because it's more my personal style and the way I like to live. But Austin's cool. Austin's fun. Like I said, I'm loyal to my Austin clients because they propelled my business and they just welcomed me just like that. And like as soon as I announced Buff Bakes, I mean, they just jumped right behind me. Like, how can I buy? How can I support? Like, it's awesome.
That's freaking amazing.
It was great. So I have a special love for Austin, but to live my life, I really like Houston. But I'm lucky because I still have my Austin clients. And so I go back every week. So it's like I get to live in the city I love the most and play in the city that I like to play in. And it's fun. I feel like life is really hard and busy, but I'm really happy.
So you like your career, the only way you're making money is through Buff Cakes and your online coaching.
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome.
And in-person training, which right now is basically just Austin.
I imagine you were really scared coming to Houston then.
Yeah, but I've started over several times in my life. 'Cause I lived in Florida till I was 14, and then we moved to Colorado, and then I took off on my own at 17 to Minnesota. So I've done this before, and then my ex-husband and I moved right after we got married to Phoenix all on our own. Nobody out there that we knew. So like I've started over again and again, and so I'm kind of used to it. It's exciting.
Yeah,
it is scary. Yes, it is scary.
Did you know people? Do you have a plan when you came here, or you just fucking came?
No, I mean, I have kids. I'd have some kind of plan in place, and so that's why too, like if I didn't have my Austin clients and my online clients, there's no way I could have done that. I wouldn't have been able to support us fast enough, but I already had that rolling. So it was like, I can go somewhere else. And luckily my ex-husband was supportive and he lives in Austin right now.
Okay.
But he's like, yeah, it's like, you want to move to Houston? We'll make it work. And he had already considered moving to Houston, and he's actually moving here this month.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Getting back together?
Oh, no. Absolutely. I have respect for him, but no, that will never happen.
But he's not following you?
No. Well, I mean, he can work anywhere too. Like he kind of works from home more or less. So he can live anywhere, and he doesn't have any special attachment to any place. So he's like, if you and the kids are happy there, sure, go for it. So, which I'm very grateful for.
Cool. Was he into fitness too? Is that
no,
starter
he was,
for you?
I mean, he actually was a truck driver, but he had been in sports from basically the time he could walk. And so I did learn like the foundations of some of my weight training came from him. He had a personal trainer for years and years because he was in motocross and snowcross and wrestling and really. I mean, any sport he can soak up. Like he's just a natural athlete and just wants it like that and excels at it and loves it. So he's done pretty much every sport there is. So that's kind of what got me interested in doing more to take care of my health, is watching him just work out everything possible.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So when you started, like, did you come in with the app? I imagine there's an app, right? I think James told me there's an app. You do all your coaching through an app?
I do now. Yeah, I was just emailing people workouts, which I still do. I have some clients who like don't like technology like me and just want like a spreadsheet emailed to them. But yeah, I use an app now. It's nice because it has little videos and stuff. So if you don't know what you're doing, you can just watch the video.
There's an app for everything now.
Right?
It's really convenient.
Magic.
You have an app, but not a website.
True.
What is going on here?
So this is what I talk about. Like, I'll just jump in now, which is good. Like, it will get me going. But it's like, okay, there were like 50 basic things I should have done. That I just now got business cards for my business. So people were like, oh, you're a personal trainer. Can I have your information? I'm like, can I write it down?
That's just a QR code. You just let them scan and it'll go into their contacts.
Yes. So there's a lot of things little ducks I need to
Well,
get
like the website, you have to, unless you pay someone to build it yourself, or pay someone to build it for you, you have to build it yourself.
I know, and technology and I are just not friends. Like, okay, so I recorded a podcast yesterday.
Yeah, how's it going?
Fantastic podcast. It is going well, but 45 minutes with a retired baseball player is an amazing podcast. We were talking about men's mental health, which I'm big into right now, discussing, and it didn't save it on my computer.
No?
Didn't save it. I still don't know what happened. trying to figure that out.
What did you do it on? Did you do it on Zoom?
Zoom. Always do it on Zoom. And I haven't had this issue yet. And I did think to myself the other day, I'm like, what's going to happen if that ever happens?
So when you started the Zoom or when you ended it,
hit record, and then it was like, it'll like convert it to video or whatever. It just disappeared.
It's probably on your computer still.
Yeah.
It depends where it goes. It might not go to your desktop.
No, it doesn't go to my desktop, but I've searched.
You have a Windows, right?
Yeah, HP. Which
so when you ended the Zoom and it gives you an option to hit save, right? Did you hit save?
Yeah.
It has to be on your computer. Unless you canceled it. Did you cancel it? Is that the problem?
I didn't touch anything.
No, it's on your computer.
It's on there.
If anything, too, you probably put a ticket in with Zoom and get it.
Do you think I could?
Absolutely.
I think you could, but I think it's on your computer. If you're bad at technology, like you're saying, you might not be able to find it.
I am.
It's probably in your...
It could be in your downloads.
Yeah.
I looked under downloads.
You did?
Did you? But it doesn't save. It saves as weird, as a weird...
Yeah. But it always does the same thing every time, so I know how to find it from there. But I wouldn't know. I'm not disagreeing with you that it may just be somewhere on there.
Zoom podcasts are always tough to do. Like in-person podcast.
I don't know.
They flow so good. Like in person, I can see your face. I can see when you're about to talk.
Yeah.
There's no delay.
That's the only thing. And so she uses like Apple products, which has a delay. Like if I talk at all, it'll cut her off. And I'm like, this is maddening. I can't do this. So we're trying to work out all the little kinks.
So what's your hope with the podcast? You want to talk like what's your like just want to do it? You have a topic? Is it only fitness? What do you want to do?
I mean, it is and it isn't. So like where it started, so my best friend Katie, she is a personal trainer herself in Arizona. We were going to do something business-wise together at some point. I started shadowing under her probably 2 years ago now, and she was a physical therapist first and started training people. So I learned a lot from her and still learn a lot from her, and we wanted to do things together, but then I had to move. And so we're like, what else can we do together? And whenever I go back to visit Phoenix, I will kind of run her class, and her and I just speak now. We talk like trainers to each other, and we started noticing that like our own clients would kind of benefit from hearing our viewpoint from like a trainer side of thing, or we would talk about our own struggles. Like we're human beings. We struggle to be motivated and have our nutrition right. And people just didn't get that. And a lot of things would click for them. And so we're like, how can we do this for our online clients who can't get in front of us every week? They can't see our emotions. They can't hear our encouragement the same way. How can we continue to educate them when we're not in front of them? So it's like, let's do a podcast, even if only our clients ever hear it. We don't care. We see our clients having a benefit from it. Check-ins are becoming more regular. Adherence will be up after we have these conversations with them, or like even individual, if we have Zoom conversations with them, they just they're in a better spot. So it's like, how can we replicate that for them? And we're both lucky that we have a lot of other followers on Instagram that are not our clients yet, and they're benefiting from it. And so that's like, even if it only benefits a couple people, that's all I really care about. We just want to help people not live in the extremes, to walk the middle of the road and realize how easy it actually is to take care of your health. There are struggles for sure, but let's make it easier for you and help you see that we're human beings too, and we've been there, and here's our struggles. So I don't know what my hope is for the podcast yet, because at the moment it's like, let's just help our clients.
Yeah, if you like doing it, that's the main thing, right?
It's fun.
That's pretty cool too. Like if there's questions that your clients have or you're about to change, you could just answer it and then put it out, and then hopefully it gets to all the people, rather you having to type an email to every single person or respond to messages. That's a good idea.
Well, and so we're doing that where I'm taking a client question like at the beginning or end of the podcast right now, and it's just stuff that sometimes it's basics. Like as trainers, we know this stuff so well that we forget the basics. We forget what it's like to be on the day one. And so I'll forget things. The client just asked me if the added proteins in foods are worth the extra money, or how to know if it's right. And it's like, I know this stuff so well now, it doesn't occur to me to tell people this. But she reminded me that you don't know until someone tells you. You don't know the labels are sneaky and what to watch out for. So I love that. The client question.
I just thought about another option too. A lot of people are doing is they're doing Instagram lives, because that records.
Yeah.
And then they use that across their YouTube channels and on their podcast. That's freaking good.
That's why I'm going to do a YouTube, just because I already have the videos, so it'll be easy just to put it there. And so like I said, if something ever comes of it, great. If not, it wasn't a lot of extra work to just put it in another spot. And then I don't know if you guys use Anchor.
Yeah.
But so like, it'll put it out in multiple places. So that's my focus right now.
Yeah.
So let's just see what happens.
Anchor's so cool.
It is. I don't think I've even scratched the surface on what I can do with it.
It's
You don't use Anchor anymore, do you?
well, for Curiosity, yeah.
Yeah. You like the other one?
So yeah, I looked at Podbean. Have you checked out Podbean?
No.
I use Podbean for my other podcast.
Was that one that you recommended?
I probably recommended Anchor to you because it's free.
Yeah.
I think Podbean's free too, but you can't post as much content.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like Anchor is legit. Just within the last 6 months, they've enhanced a lot in regards to like analytics, like what you can look at. You can post videos, like video podcasts, so you can actually see the video on Spotify.
Yeah. We're doing videos now.
That's really good.
Yeah. So it's like it's already there. We have the video. It will be nothing for me to just go put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many days a week are you doing the podcast? One?
Yes.
That's good.
I can commit to one, and we're keeping it short, like 15 to 30 minutes.
Those are good.
That's what I can commit to. And I think people's attention spans too.
Yeah. No, you're right on that. If it can be action-packed 30 minutes. Sometimes we'll do a couple in a week so we can take some weeks off.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to batch. So right now we're like 3 or 4 weeks ahead all the time, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because there's going to come a point soon where we can't. We've had, I think, 1 or 2 where it's like, it just didn't work. Or this, where I have something not record. What do I do? Then I've got other stuff ready just in case.
Yeah. Yeah, anytime you need help, let us know, and we'll be happy to help you.
I appreciate that. I will ask, and I do need help. Because I want it to help more people. But yes, the biggest issue I'm having right now is sound quality. It's driving me nuts. Most people are telling me they're not bothered by it, but I'm like, I can hear.
There's like a little echo. I need to go back and listen to it, but it's not bad.
It's not bad.
You're in your closet, right?
I'm in my closet. But Katie can't. She has to do it. Her life is busier than mine. She's primarily in person. And so she has to record from like a giant gym or studio, which is like huge empty.
Oh, yeah. So that's just going to be. Yeah. You can adjust some settings on the Blue Yeti to make it less echoey.
No, it has so many knobs on it, and I'm like, I know there's more I can do with this to make it better, but I don't know what to do. I need to have a day where I just kind of mess with it.
Or just go into the editing software.
I don't. Yeah, what editing software? I think you
none right.
You record directly into Anchor, or you take the audio from Zoom.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I know there's better out there. There has to be. I just haven't had the time to put into figuring it out.
We'll show you some stuff after the podcast.
Okay. I'll take all that advice.
Well, Heather, we had a blast with you.
Thank you for inviting me.
It was nice meeting you. I'm glad James linked us up.
I know. He's a good person.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah. Slacking, but he's a good guy.
Oh, yeah. I know those daily runs. He's just slacking off.
Well, how can people follow your journey and buy your buff cakes and get in touch with you?
Well, I put out most of my information on buff.babe.fitness on Instagram until I get a website, which I will someday. And there in my feed, I have linked my Buff Bakes profile. So if you ever want to order, if you're in the Austin or Houston area, I deliver. I am hoping to ship out of state eventually, but I have to get a commercial kitchen, which is fine. Just haven't done it. All these things I need to do.
Yeah. No, you're kicking ass.
Yeah, Instagram is the primary way to get a hold of me right now.
Awesome. We had a blast with you.
Good. Thank you for inviting me.
And you didn't hold off on the bustiness in this picture.
I did not.
That's really good.
Can I blame?
Did you make this?
I paid somebody. No.
Okay.
It's their fault. No, I very much directed
Sassy.
It looks like you though, like the face, the other sticker too. Where's the other sticker?
Me.
There it is.
Yeah, I know that one. He did that one for fun. I was like, I'm going to use that.
That really does kind of look like
I've seen it
Looks
on people's
buff.
water bottles once in a while. Like I'll be out and I'm like, oh, that's me.
That's
There's
so
no
cool.
way.
That's me.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
It's happened like 3 times. It's exciting.
Well, we love you, Heather. We had a blast.
Thank you.
Rock on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.